Hi guys, long time no talk. I know it's been a while since my last video, so I'm long overdue to give you guys an update. I know on my last videos I was talking about macros and how I was beginning to start my journey. So I've been doing that for a few months, so I'm going to give you an update and just tell you a little bit more about how my progress has been going. First, I'm going to tell you guys that I began tracking my macros pretty intensely. Like every single day, I would map out my meals before the day started so that I knew as the day went on how much I needed. Some days I would do it at the end, and then I would realize like, oh, those were not the right portions that I needed to have. Now my macros are all out of whack. I'm just gonna start by telling you guys that I know that I had expressed in my last videos how I don't really think counting is sustainable for a healthy lifestyle. And I still maintain that position. I can tell you that counting is stressful, and for some it works, and that's great. But for me, and I think for the majority, I don't think it's something that you can't track every single day. And then because I was traveling for a while, I just gave up on tracking. I still tried to eat as healthy as possible, which is, what I used to do is I would just, base it off of more how I feel, except for protein. Protein is something that I have always tracked my entire journey because it's really, really important. I realized that like when I'd be going out at restaurants, I would try to be like, okay, how much is this? How much is that? But you have no idea things that they put inside of it, like what type of oil, how it's cooked. And I felt like it defeated the purpose of tracking. And I feel like when you're out, it's not so much about tracking as it is about making the best decisions that you can. And a lot of people ask me, what do I do when I want to go out to eat and eat something healthy? Pretty much every restaurant has a grilled chicken and veggies option. Almost. I would say 85%. Not to say that that's what you should always get, but that's just an idea about healthy eating out at restaurants. The beginning of tracking, it was good. It was a good exercise for me to do because the reason why I started is my protein has always been here, and then my carbs were like way up and my fats were way low, and so I needed to balance them out. And so it was a good exercise for me to do to be more conscious of my fats and my carbs and make sure that everything is in check. So now I realize I need to get more fats. I need to not go crazy with my carbs, which is really easy to do. Not that carbs are bad. You need carbs, but of course, to a certain point. I've been kind of on and off with tracking. I really don't think it's something that, and like, sometimes I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to tell people like track. And even to my FBG girls, I don't want to say, track every day. I think it's a good thing to do for a few weeks so that you really see what portions you need. And then from there, you can eyeball it. And honestly, give or take 10 grams of a macronutrient food group, give or take 100 calories in the day, is not going to make a difference in your results. And honestly, I personally feel like you are better to overestimate than to underestimate. So that brings me to another point. If you are on my Snapchat, you heard me talking about how my results were affected when I was traveling. I was home for Thanksgiving, which was amazing, and I went to New York for work. You guys saw, like the Harper's Bazaar article, which I'm still like on cloud 9 about, and I met a lot of really amazing people, but I wasn't able to be as consistent with my workouts and with eating. It's not that I wasn't eating healthy, it's that I wasn't eating enough. And this is something that I really want to reinforce, is that you need to eat enough food. It's more about eating healthier foods, making healthier food swaps. Your body needs a good amount of food, especially protein if you're working out. So what happened in my case is generally I eat about 130 grams of protein a day and split between 6 meals. And that's when I'm, on my normal routine. When I was home, I was just so busy that I was pretty much just eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe one snack. And I was getting like, I don't know, say 70 grams of protein. What ended up happening is I lost 5 pounds of muscle. I know a lot of girls would think, oh, you lost 5 pounds, that's great. No, I did not lose fat. I still have the same amount of fat that I did when I left, but I'm 5 pounds less, and it was all muscle, and I could tell, I actually felt it, and it was before I even weighed myself. I really never weigh myself, but Luke and I were watching a movie, and I was laying down, and I had my hand on my legs, and I was thinking to myself, like, why do my legs feel smaller? And I told Luca, I was like, Luca, my legs are smaller, which is not a good thing for me. I naturally have really skinny legs, and so for me, I really tried to build muscle on my legs, and I said to Luca, I think that my legs have gotten smaller, and he was like, no, you're fine. And I said, no, really, like, I can feel it. Like literally physically feel it, not just emotionally. And I went to the scale, and yep, sure enough, 5 pounds down. And I was like, great, like that was entirely my fault. Sorry, my hair keeps getting stuck under my armpit. Does that ever happen? Any girls have long hair? So if I'm doing that, I'm not playing with my hair. I'm trying to get it out of my arm. I actually do need a haircut. It's kind of getting a little straggly, but it's one problem. If you eat healthy, your hair grows and grows and grows, which is something that I had problems with when I was younger. It would never grow, so now. Anyways, so I stepped on the scale, 5 pounds down, and I could feel it. I knew it. So that's what I get for not eating enough protein. What caused this is called muscle catabolism. That is when, I think I've talked about this in other videos, but that's where your body eats muscle for energy. People think when you don't eat that your body is just going to eat away the fat in your body. It doesn't work that way. There's a certain point where your body eats fat, and then after a certain point it eats muscle. It doesn't continue eating fat. So eating too little, you're not doing yourself any favors. If you eat too little, that is not going to result in fat loss. It will result in overall weight loss because your body's going to eat fat and then mostly muscle. So now I am back to trying to build that muscle back up. But another really exciting thing is Lucas started FBG with me. I'll talk a little bit about his journey. I haven't talked much about it, but he's the one who really got me started on all this, like 3 years ago back when we were in China. And he was like, Anna, you can't eat goldfish for dinner. You need to start eating healthy and working out. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm fine. Leave me alone. So he's the one who pulled me. Now I'm the one pulling him because poor Luca, he works so much that he gets home and he's like, Anna, I don't have the energy. Not only that, but Luca's an ectomorph. So an ectomorph is where you have a really, really fast metabolism. It's really hard for him to gain weight at all. It's hard for him to gain muscle. It's hard for him to gain fat. And I know, of course, that sounds like everyone's, the perfect problem to have, which I would kind of agree. But, he wants to gain more muscle mass. And, well, he has been trying for the last 3 years. When we were in China, he did. He actually got a bit over 200 pounds, and for him, that's a big deal because we were both just studying then. So he was working out enough as much as he needed, and he was able to eat as much as he needed. This is another area where you really, really need to make sure that you're eating a lot, especially if you're a guy, or eating enough, I should say. And so he was able to gain the weight, but now he works so much that it's not just about getting home and having time to work out. It's about the entire day having that time to eat as much as he needs to eat. He needs to eat something like 4,000 calories. I think actually like 3,500. And to do that for a guy, you need like gainer shakes and like really big portions of rice and protein. And he's just, his family owns a family business, and so he's one of the main ones, like, running everything and working. He can't just be like, oh, hey, I have 10 meetings today, but I need to go eat this meal. So I understand how difficult it is for you guys, and it absolutely is all about preparation. I will tell you that when we do meal prep, he's fine. He gets all of his meals. It's more when things aren't prepared that he has trouble going out and seeking and getting the right portions that he needs to gain weight. Luca has decided to start doing FBG. He's pretty much hit a bit of a plateau with gaining muscle, so he's going to do FBG. And because I told him I've seen a lot more muscle growth with doing my FBG workouts than I did when I was weightlifting. So he's going to start doing that, and he already is crying like a little baby. He tried to get out of doing some reps of the circuits, and I made him do double. That's what you get. Like, don't skimp out on these reps. A new part of our routine, aside from Luca joining me doing FBG, we have started doing morning workouts. So I'm talking early morning. We're getting up at 6 a.m., and we get to the gym around like 7:30 because we have breakfast, and then we wait to digest. And he loves it. I'm surprised. I knew that I would like it. I've been telling him for months, like, hey, I want to start doing morning workouts. I am too busy during the middle of the day to take out an hour, hour and a half to go to the gym, etc., do all that stuff. So I want to do morning workouts. And I'm really happy to say that he already loves it. Like, this is our first week. And so what is today? Today's Friday. And on Wednesday, we had to go at night because something, I think we forgot to set our alarm actually. And so Tuesday morning we went Wednesday night, and then Thursday morning, sorry. And I asked him, it's like, so what do you think? Like, this week we've done a bit of both. And he's like, hands down, morning workouts are the best. I get to enjoy the evening with you, and just relax and not have to worry about working out. If any of you are struggling with having a busy schedule, even if you work late, get up early and you will be shocked at how much more energy it actually gives you. I know it seems like the worst thing ever to do, and that it would be the other way around, that you would be so exhausted, but it will give you more energy. It'll make you feel better, so I highly recommend trying it. Today is also another day that we didn't get to wake up at 6 a.m. and go, because Luca had a meeting at work at like 7 a.m. But he did, you guys know that we're wedding planning right now, and apparently we had an appointment with our florist this morning at 9, and we misunderstood our wedding planner in her email. We thought it was in February. And so he came in, Anna, we have the appointment for the wedding planner. We missed the appointment. And I was like just barely waking up. I actually have a headache now because it's just so much chaos right when I woke up. We have to reschedule that florist appointment. So a few more things about updates with macros. One thing that I did also realize is, because you guys know I'm very big on eating whole natural foods, not eating anything processed. But even in the few things that I have that aren't entirely natural, like granola, it has other ingredients in it, and it's not just, grains. And what I've noticed is, if you take granola and oatmeal, the amount of carbs that you get out of oatmeal versus granola is way lower, so you can eat a lot more. And I've noticed that with other foods. Foods that are natural foods, you actually get to eat a much higher quantity than other processed foods that are, say, the same exact weight, say 40 grams and 40 grams, but the processed food has a lot more carbs in it per 40 grams than something that's a whole natural food. So it's something that's really interesting, and I think that's one reason why people are surprised with my meal plan, because everything is whole natural food, so you get to eat a lot higher quantity. And that is what helps you feel satiated. It helps you feel full and satisfied throughout the day. And that's one of the biggest keys to fueling your body. And people are so used to eating processed foods that you can only eat, this much if you're on a diet, because it has all these other ingredients that are racking up those carbs or all the other macronutrient ratios or calories. Not that calories matter, but if you're eating processed foods, yes, they do matter, because you can eat something that's like this and it has skyrocket high calories because it's not natural. I'm probably sounding like a broken record. I'm sure I've said this a million times, but so that's about it for today. It's Christmas. As you can see, we put our tree up finally. I feel like we're always really late on that stuff. It's December 18th and we just put it up last weekend. So I just want to give you a quick update, and I'm going to go off of this video for you guys to write questions below for me to do my next video. So comment below. Let me know what you want to hear next, if you have any questions, and thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Mwah. First, what are macros? Also referred to as flexible dieting. That these types of products are really damaging to the fitness industry, because when people waste their time and money